on a blind date and ran into my old high school homeroom teacher. Me, well. The old man finally couldn't find anyone and is out on a blind date? Him, likewise. Tina was already dating in high school, and now she's on a blind date with this old man, isn't she? A few months later, I pointed at Anderson by the bed. If you don't memorize sonnet tonight, you're not getting in this bed. During the holiday, I originally planned to go out and have fun for a few days, but my mom's incessant calls summoned me home. She said she had arranged a blind date for me and I absolutely had to go. Before I went, my mom told me. The other person is a teacher, from a good family, scholarly, has a car, a house, and social security. No parents, no mother-in-law, no sisters-in-law, grew up with his grandmother, so no worries about mother-in-law conflicts in the future. She told me not to mess it up again. It's not my mom's fault for saying that. My mom had arranged a few blind dates for me before. I either complained that the guy looked too rough, like a bandit, or that he was too lively and talked too much. Anyway, all the previous blind dates fell through. My mom gritted her teeth and retorted, "Why don't you take a look at yourself in the mirror? Even a ghost could chat with you for a bit, and you still complain that others talk too much." Me, you're really my own mother. Seeing my mom wanted to nag me some more, I immediately slipped away in my stilettos. Before I came, I never imagined that Anderson and I would meet again in this way. Our eyes met, and we both saw a trace of astonishment in each other's eyes. Going on a blind date with your high school homeroom teacher, what could be more socially awkward than this? That's right, the person sitting across from me was none other than Anderson, my senior year homeroom teacher who used to make me stand in the corner, keep me after class, and advise me against puppy love. Tina, you can't even get the multiple choice questions right. How can you guarantee you'll find the right one among 1.4 billion people? Puppy love is a tree that only blossoms but bears no fruit. Don't waste your precious youth. If you date now, you're just helping someone else train their future husband. Don't you think that's a loss? Those earnest teachings from back then still ring in my ears. Anderson was still the same as in high school, gentle and refined, with a scholarly air, wearing a beige cardigan with light blue straight-leg jeans, handsome and delicate features, a high nose bridge, and short black hair. I raised an eyebrow, sat down across from him, flicked my newly dyed chestnut-colored wavy hair, and rested my cheek on one hand. Well. The old man finally couldn't find anyone and is out on a blind date? You little rascal, serves you right for making me stand in the corner and keeping me after class back then. Anyway, he's not my teacher anymore, so I teased him without much restraint. Anderson across from me clasped his hands and chuckled softly, likewise. Tina was already dating in high school, and now she's on a blind date with this old man, isn't she? He looked like he had expected this all along. I thought to myself, whose fault is it that my puppy love didn't work out? Don't you have any idea? Well, that's thanks to Anderson's constant reminders and earnest teachings back then. I should be grateful to Anderson. Anderson's eyes softened, and he smiled warmly. Not at all. I should also thank Tina for being so well behaved and sensible back then, which made me never want to be a homeroom teacher again. I casually flicked my hair, rested my cheek on one hand, and winked at Anderson. All right, we've caught up. Let's talk about some adult topics. I hear your family is also rushing you. Coincidentally, my family also hopes I find someone to date and marry soon. How about we just make do with each other? Unexpectedly, Anderson on the other side, upon hearing this, his Adam's apple moved, and he coughed lightly. Tina, Anderson is 6 years older than you. I don't want to delay your youth. As expected of a math teacher, even his rejections are so fresh, refined, and poetic. I waved my hand. What's the big deal? I don't mind. I like older men who will die before me. Anderson added, as the saying goes, a rabbit doesn't eat the grass near its own burrow. Besides, I was your teacher. We're not suitable. No worries, if you lazy rabbit won't come eat me, this patch of grass will come to you. Anderson was amused by my words and couldn't help but chuckle. He rubbed his temples and said with some helplessness, "Tina, your rebellious phase is quite long." I retorted, "Anderson's dad phase is even longer." Anderson chuckled, "Tina, you're still as sharp-tongued as ever." I smiled, "Not at all, not at all. It's because Anderson taught me well." The atmosphere suddenly became quiet. I wanted to slap myself across the face. All right, I've had my fun talking, and I've also killed the conversation. Tina, oh Tina, you really don't learn your lesson. Just then, a booming voice sounded from nearby. Isn't this Anderson? What are you doing here? This is? I took a closer look, and what a coincidence. Isn't this my high school's dean of students, Ben? What's this old man doing here? Ben glanced at Anderson, then his gossipy eyes darted back and forth between me and Anderson, afraid to miss a single bit of gossip. Anderson gestured towards me and said lightly, "Tina, a former student from Class 9, senior year." Ben was stunned for a moment, then it dawned on him, "Oh. Tina, I remember now, the little girl who was in a puppy love, causing you so much worry that you couldn't sleep and your hair was falling out in clumps?" Ben didn't give me or Anderson a chance to speak, he just looked at me with a gossipy expression. "Tina, right? You've really changed, I almost didn't recognize you. So, did things work out with your high school sweetheart? I bet you broke up. How many high school romances don't end prematurely?" Let me say thank you, you really know how to rub salt in the wound. Old man, is it polite to poke at someone's sore spot like this in front of others? How are Ben and your wife doing? I heard back then that you and your wife, oh dear, look at my mouth, I really deserve a slap. Unexpectedly, Ben, instead of getting angry, said quite frankly, she and I divorced a long time ago. She helps our daughter's family with the kids, and I just go fishing and play chess with people when I have nothing to do. No wonder. The dean of students was quite straightforward. He looked at me and Anderson and asked, "What are you two doing?" Anderson and I looked at each other, both a little embarrassed. Anderson said calmly, "We just happened to run into each other and chatted for a bit." I nodded vigorously, "Yes, that's right. Shall we call it a day then?" Anderson suggested. I was thinking the same thing. After saying goodbye to Ben, we left the restaurant. At the restaurant entrance. "How about we grab something to eat together?" I said. Actually, I was just being polite, asking symbolically. After all, at a time like this, we both knew that continuing would only make things more awkward. Sure enough, Anderson thought so too. He said, "No, let's get together some other time when we have the chance." I breathed a sigh of relief. "Anderson, can we add each other on WhatsApp?" Anderson readily pulled out his phone's QR code. We successfully added each other on WhatsApp. "Anderson, you can give some serious thought to my proposal earlier." With that, before Anderson could say anything else, I turned and left coolly. It wasn't until I sat in my beloved little smart car that my wildly beating heart finally calmed down. Back home, my mom immediately came over, following me around and asking endlessly, "Well? Did you meet him?" "I did, he's nice." "How nice?" "All I know is that the kid is a high school teacher." "Which school exactly, did you ask?" I casually grabbed an apple and started munching. "North Bay High." "What? North Bay High, isn't that your high school?" This is practically fate. Good, you know each other well, so there's a foundation for a relationship. It looks like the kid's education won't be a problem in the future. I have to say, even though my mom didn't study much, her thinking is definitely very progressive. I chuckled twice. We do know each other well. As for a foundation for a relationship, there is some, but not much. In my senior year, our homeroom teacher left to pursue true love, transferring with her sweetheart. And Anderson, a top student graduated from a prestigious university, had just passed the exam to teach at our school a year prior. He took over our class then. Back then, the school was divided into experimental classes and regular classes. And my class was the irregular among the regular classes. The student composition was underachievers, slackers, athletes, and art students. In short, as bad as it could get, the kind that would make even a ghost worry for days. And I was the rare exception in the teacher's eyes, an individual, even more so. Back then, Anderson really worried himself sick over our class, talked himself hoarse, and almost went gray from stress. So, when he found out I was in a puppy love, he pulled me into his office and asked me seriously, "Tina, what is your dream?" I looked at him nonchalantly. "Anderson, my dream is to find a handsome and gentle dreamboat for a husband." "Tina, what on earth are you thinking about all day? If you could put the effort you put into romance into your studies, I think you would achieve great things." "Teacher, I still think romance is more interesting." He then patiently lectured me again. "Tina, puppy love is a tree that only blossoms but bears no fruit. Why are you wasting your precious youth?" "Exactly, I'm a person who only likes flowers." Anderson added, "Tina, don't look for someone in high school, the quality isn't good. Look in college, and you'll grow old together." So, did Anderson find someone in college to grow old with? "Tina, if you date now, you're just helping someone else train their future husband. Don't you think that's a loss? Helping someone else train their husband? That sounds exciting, I love doing things like that." Seeing that I wouldn't yield to either hard or soft tactics, Anderson had to give up temporarily. At that time, I was a typical rebellious teenager. Whatever Anderson thought was wrong, was what I wanted to do. I just liked to go against him. And Anderson was a very fatherly teacher, seemingly determined to steer me back onto the right path. I'm a chatterbox, I could chat up a storm with classmates 7 or 8 tables away, let alone the ones at my own table. For this, Anderson was quite troubled and changed my seat no less than 20 times. "Anderson, don't waste your energy. Even if you change everyone's seat in the class, I can still chat with them." Hearing this, Anderson just smiled gently twice. So, the next day I was rewarded with a super VIP single seat right next to his desk. Being caught by Anderson for my puppy love right under his nose was undoubtedly like poking a raw nerve. So, he sought me out for the nth time. "Tina, you can't even choose the right answer from 4 options in a multiple choice question. How can you guarantee you'll find the right person among 1 billion people?" I said with a determined look, "I think he is the right person." Anderson looked bewildered. "Tina, I really don't understand. What do you even like about Sean?" "I like that he's gentle, refined, handsome, and kind." Anderson seemed somewhat disbelieving. "Sure enough, love makes people blind. That oaf Sean, you actually think he's gentle and refined?" Looking at Anderson's indescribable expression, I could only close my eyes and nod. "Yes, I just like him, very, very much." Sean was my childhood friend and best buddy, an athlete. He was tall and well-built, the kind of person teachers would call all brawn and no brains. That big oaf, on the day he picked up my love letter, excitedly ran 20 laps around the track. And so, our romance became public knowledge. And it was from then on that Anderson started lecturing me daily about the side effects of puppy love. Sigh. The past is unbearable to look back on. I sighed softly, took a shower, and went to bed. I took out my phone and tapped on Anderson's WhatsApp profile picture. An eternally unchanging calligraphy art character avatar, the kind that screams old-school traditionalist. Then I opened his moments. The only 2 photos were hard to miss, especially since I was specifically looking. One was a low-angle shot of the sky, the other a landscape photo. Sure enough, very Anderson-esque. I couldn't help but sigh. Are there really people who don't post on moments these days? How did Anderson manage to be both handsome and primitive? Too strange. However, as I looked at the 2 messages I had just sent out, "Anderson, are you there? Anderson, it's been so long, how about we chat for a bit?" I suddenly realized that perhaps I was the strangest one. The messages were sent, as if into a bottomless pit. So, I rattled off a few more. "Anderson, have you been abducted by aliens? Anderson, is your internet speed still stuck in the 2G era? The messages were sent, still no reply. I suddenly felt a little disheartened. Sure enough, Anderson probably didn't really want to chat with me. After all, I caused him a lot of trouble back then. So, I put down my phone, picked up the tablet from the bedside table, subscribed to a short drama VIP, and started binge-watching a cheesy romance drama. There was no other way, I desperately needed some comfort for my soul right now. Halfway through a cheesy short drama, my phone suddenly buzzed with a WhatsApp notification. I tossed the tablet aside and picked up my phone. A message popped up in Anderson's WhatsApp chat. Sorry, I was busy just now, didn't see my phone. Are you done with your work now and free to chat? Then, silence again from his end. I took a deep breath and initiated a video call. The video call connected after 2 minutes. Under the somewhat dim lighting, Anderson's handsome and gentle face magnified before my eyes, so handsome it felt unreal. I feigned composure and greeted him. Hi, Anderson, are you working overtime? Anderson on the other side paused. No, I'm at the hospital. The smile on my lips froze. What, are you sick? Not me, it's my grandma. I saw a flash of pain in his dark, deep eyes, and my heart tightened, a pang of sympathy spreading through me. I said drily, don't be too sad. Medical science is advanced now. I believe your grandma will get well soon. Anderson's lips curved into a soft smile. Yes, thank you, Tina. See, that's the kind of person Anderson is. Even when he's sad, he'll warm you first. Anderson didn't chat with me for long and quickly said goodnight. After the brief chat with Anderson ended, my heart felt a bit chaotic. My thoughts also became complicated. My mind kept flashing between Anderson's deep, gentle eyes tinged with pain from just now, and the tall, handsome figure from those youthful high school days. The terrible thing was, the protagonist in both scenes was the same person. I tugged at the corner of my lips with some bitterness. So, that's it. Anderson and I won't have any more interactions, right? My phone buzzed incessantly. I picked it up and saw a message from my high school friend, Ashley Lou. Tina, remember to come to the class reunion tomorrow. I promised the class president I'd definitely bring you. I slapped my forehead, only then remembering I had promised her I'd go to the high school class reunion tomorrow. Oh, forgot to tell you, Anderson will be there too. The class president just messaged me. Anderson? I sprang up from the bed, all the earlier gloominess gone. Don't worry, I'll definitely go. When have I ever broken a promise to you? She sent back a vomiting emoji. I burst out laughing. Just then, my mom pushed open the door loudly. Tina, that friend of mom's just called. She said little Anderson, who you met today, has a pretty good impression of you. Good impression? Are you sure that's not just polite official talk? Who was it today that said they were afraid of wasting my youth and that we weren't suitable? My mom was still chattering away. Let me tell you, you have to seize this opportunity this time. The young man graduated from a prestigious university. Although he has no parents, I heard his parents used to work for the government, so he's cultured. All things considered, he's a good match for our family. Mom, where do you see us as a match? He graduated from a prestigious university, and your daughter graduated from a third-rate private college. Also, his parents are cultured, and you and Dad graduated from middle school. You wretched girl, are you looking down on your mom for not being cultured? I'm sweating. No, how would I dare look down on my breadwinners? If it weren't for you and Dad, I don't know if I could have even graduated from this third-rate college. Besides, even though you and Dad only graduated from middle school, few can compare to you in business. At least I admit defeat and feel ashamed. Upon hearing this, my mom finally cheered up. Yes, my parents don't have much education, but they are excellent at business. Mom and Dad run 4 shops. So, my family is considered somewhat wealthy, and I'm a grassroots rich second generation. Seeing my nonchalant attitude, my mom could only poke my forehead and say, anyway, I think this Anderson is very good. You put in some effort, work harder, you hear me? I want to work harder too. Regarding Anderson's family situation, I really knew nothing before. It's not that I didn't want to find out, it's just that I didn't feel qualified, nor did I dare to. After finally coaxing my mom away, I picked up my phone and tapped on the chat with Anderson. I sent a message, heard Anderson has a pretty good impression of me. After waiting a while, he replied, my impression of Tina has always been good, I still can't forget it. Good, very good. As expected of a math teacher, he really knows how to use sarcasm. I heard Anderson is also attending the class reunion tomorrow. My car is in for maintenance, could I trouble Anderson to give me a ride? Before Anderson could reply, I sent him an address. There was no response for a long time after the message was sent. I lay back on the bed, laughing somewhat self-deprecatingly. Tina, oh Tina, what are you really expecting? After about an hour or so, he finally replied with an okay. My tangled and gloomy mood from the whole night finally brightened up. I hugged my blanket and fell into a sweet sleep. The next day I slept in until the sun was high in the sky. Anderson arrived downstairs at my place right on time. I had specifically applied makeup that was trending and suited my face shape, looking delicate and charming. When I came down, Anderson had clearly been waiting for a while. He was wearing a beige inner layer with a light gray trench coat over it. The hem of his coat fluttered in the wind. Paired with his sharp eyebrows, starry eyes, and dazzlingly handsome face, he looked like a male protagonist straight out of a novel, so handsome it was almost blinding. Seeing me come down, he smiled and waved at me. At that moment, my heart involuntarily sped up. I'm a sucker for good looks, and this scene really hit me right in the heart. I walked closer and said apologetically, sorry to keep Anderson waiting. Anderson just smiled, it's alright, I didn't wait long, only about 40 minutes. After he finished speaking, he gallantly opened the car door for me. Looking at the open passenger seat, I hesitated, this isn't good, I think I should sit in the back. Anderson chuckled, what? Is there anything Tina is afraid of? Provoked by him, I immediately lost my senses. Who's afraid? What am I afraid of? In Tina's dictionary, there's no such word as afraid. With that, I boldly sat in the passenger seat. Anderson's car was a black Volkswagen Sagitter. The interior was plain, apart from a gray throw pillow, it seemed to be all black. The only thing was a faint scent of cedarwood, very similar to Anderson's own scent. However, the car was really plain. I instantly felt like I had hitched a ride with a taxi. I looked around and tentatively asked, Anderson, don't you think this car doesn't quite match your temperament? Anderson's handsome lips curved upwards, then Tina, why don't you tell me what kind of car suits my temperament? A pink smart car? After saying that, he couldn't help but chuckle himself. Tina, a people's teacher should be low-key. All right. No car suits him then, it feels like the current model is the most suitable. When we arrived at the appointed restaurant, many high school classmates had already gathered in the private room. At least 20 or more, by my estimate. Tina, over here. Why did you come with Anderson? Several classmates greeted me, then asked in confusion. I chuckled twice, well, we just happened to run into each other, so I hitched a ride with Anderson. Talk about fate. Other classmates also chimed in with a smile, what a coincidence indeed. After everyone greeted Anderson, they all gathered around him and sat down. As their former homeroom teacher, Anderson was seated at the head of the table by the class president. My high school best friend pulled me aside, her face full of gossip, is it really like you said? I gave her a what do you think? Look. She nodded knowingly. My friend sat to my left, and there was an empty seat to my right. Everyone gathered together, chatting and laughing. I secretly glanced at Anderson, who was not far away. I have to say, even though Anderson is 30, his face is really ageless. Sitting with these classmates, he didn't look out of place at all. Everyone chatted about the past, work, and children, having a great time. Sorry everyone, I had an unexpected task come up today, so I'm late. A rough voice sounded. I turned to look, and who else could it be but my high school best friend, Sean. That big oaf was pushing the door open with an apologetic look, still looking like a sunny big boy. He looked at Anderson. Anderson, sorry to keep you waiting. Anderson smiled gently. It's all right, work is important. I just arrived not long ago myself. When Anderson and I arrived, almost everyone else was already seated. After we sat down, there was only one empty seat left beside me. Because of the baseless romance between me and Sean in high school, now, seeing the late Sean, everyone's eyes held a waiting for a good show expression. Some classmates even started to heckle, "Quick, Sean, come sit next to Tina." Exactly, Sean, don't be shy. You and Tina used to have rumors about you. Stop fooling around. Sean chided softly, but a big smile spread across his face. A mischievous classmate said, "Oh my, are you two still afraid of Anderson?" It's okay, everyone has graduated anyway. You two are single, and everyone's at the age to get married. You're not high school students anymore. Exactly. Surely you're not afraid Anderson will break up your CP? Anderson isn't like that, right, Anderson? Everyone looked at Anderson. He chuckled. Well, in high school, I was afraid of distracting you from your studies, so I played the villain who broke up relationships quite a bit. I know I broke up several unfortunate couples back then. Here, I want to apologize to you all. If you still have feelings for each other now and want to rekindle your old flame, you can ask me to be a witness. I guarantee I'll offer you my sincerest blessings. His humorous and witty speech made everyone roar with laughter. I looked at the man across from me, momentarily lost in thought. Just then, Sean, sitting next to me, suddenly spoke. "Tina, forgive my presumption, but the person you liked in high school wasn't." As he spoke, he tilted his chin towards Anderson, who was not far away. My heart skipped a beat, thumping loudly. You are indeed quite presumptuous. Sean had a look of sudden realization. Yes, everyone thought I had a crush on Sean. That day, during Anderson's Chinese class, a light rain was falling outside the window. I looked at the man in a light gray cardigan and blue jeans, calmly explaining prose to us, and my heart suddenly skipped a beat. So, I took out a pink letter paper and wrote a sentence. With a pen for love, I write of you on paper. Life is fleeting, years are a reliance. Holding on to a thought of you, my world is forever. Just as I finished the last word, a gust of wind suddenly blew outside the window. That piece of paper, hiding my secret feelings, was blown to the feet of Sean, who was sitting at the desk behind me. He picked up the letter, a blush on his face. "Tina, you like me?" When Sean said this, his voice was a bit loud, and so, the whole class knew I liked him. From then on, Sean and I were labeled as dating. And correspondingly, Sean and I became the focus of Anderson's attention. I remember, Anderson looked at that piece of paper then and laughed in exasperation. "Tina, you can't write a single word in 2 classes when I ask you to write an essay, but you're quite good at writing love letters." Anderson, can writing an essay and writing a love letter be the same? Writing an essay means someone else gives you the topic. Writing a love letter means you set the topic yourself. Anderson looked at me, somewhat helpless. "Tina, you're still young. Acting on impulse, you don't understand that feelings aren't as simple as you think. What's the big deal? It's just falling in love with someone you like, getting married, and having kids." Anderson said earnestly again, "How can you be so sure you'll always like him? When you go to college, or even after you start working, there will be more, and better, people for you to choose from. By then, you'll regret today's decision." Anderson went to college and worked, but he still hasn't found that better person in his heart. Seeing that he couldn't persuade me, Anderson could only go and try to persuade Sean. If you're dating now, you're just helping someone else raise their wife. You need to think carefully. Helping someone else raise their wife? That sounds really exciting. Thanks, Anderson, I've never done anything like this before. Everyone thought XCA was Sean, only I knew what those 3 letters meant. How could it be Sean? It was clearly Anderson. Actually, what Anderson didn't know was that I knew him since my 3rd year of junior high. At that time, he was doing an internship at our school. One day, because I did terribly on the English monthly exam, the English teacher made me stay behind to correct my mistakes. By the time I finished, it was already past 10 o'clock at night. Just as I reached the school gate, the sky suddenly became overcast, and large raindrops began to fall. The weather had been fine for a while, so I hadn't even thought of bringing an umbrella. Watching the continuously falling raindrops, I felt a little anxious. It was already this late. If I didn't go back soon, my mom would be worried. Just as I was feeling anxious and scared, a young man in a light blue shirt holding an umbrella walked up to me. "Didn't you bring an umbrella? Here, take this one. Hurry back, it's too late. It's not safe for a girl like you to be out alone." Saying that, he handed the umbrella to me, and before I could respond, he ran into the heavy rain. It wasn't until the next day, after much inquiry, that I learned his name was Anderson. He was a student from N University doing an internship at our school. I originally wanted to thank him properly when I returned the umbrella. Unexpectedly, I got a fever and was hospitalized the afternoon I went back. By the time I was discharged and returned to school, I was told he had already finished his internship and returned to his university. For this, I was sad for quite a while. It wasn't until my senior year of high school, when we had a temporary change of homeroom teacher, that I marveled at the wonders of fate upon seeing Anderson. I always knew that a secret crush was a one-person turmoil, a silent drama destined to end without resolution. I knew that I had fallen for my teacher, that it was disrespectful of me, and also an insult to him. This one-sided secret crush was destined to have no result. But, I just wasn't reconciled. So, I did all sorts of rebellious things, just hoping to make a deeper impression on him, so he wouldn't forget me. "Tina, let's go. They're suggesting KTV for the next round." Wow, I haven't been to KTV in so long since I started working. I'm going to sing my heart out tonight. My thoughts were pulled back as my friend excitedly spoke in my ear. Looking up, I happened to see Anderson smiling and nodding at the class president, Henry. "Well, I can't sing, but I can sit with you guys for a while." Hearing Anderson's words, the no I was about to say was forcefully swallowed back. A group of people arrived at the KTV, and everyone paired up or formed small groups to choose songs. I looked at Anderson sitting in the corner of the sofa. "Anderson really can't sing?" Anderson smiled. "Miss Tina sings well, why don't you go sing?" Yes, Anderson knew I could sing. At the senior year graduation party, I sang 3 love songs in a row. My reputation as a karaoke queen spread from then on. "So, does Anderson think I sing well?" Anderson smiled sincerely. "Yes, you sing very well." Since Anderson is so complimentary, it seems a bit unreasonable if I don't go sing a song. Then I shall listen respectfully. I got up and walked towards the few classmates who were choosing songs. I chose Andy's Love Frequency. My singing quickly attracted the attention of others, and the originally noisy private room instantly quieted down. Under the mottled lights, I looked at Anderson in the corner. The man had his long legs crossed, his hands clasped on his knees, a faint smile on his lips. He lacked the seriousness of the classroom and had an added touch of casualness. Anderson, like this, was so handsome it was hard to look away. Singing this song again after so many years, I know, we've all changed. What hasn't changed is my heart that still silently likes him. Tonight, I don't know if it was happiness or something else, but I had a few too many drinks. Coming out of the KTV, I felt a little dizzy, and my friends supported me. "Anderson, I saw you came with Tina at noon. I think you two should be going the same way. How about you help me take her home?" Anderson looked at me, who was a bit unsteady on my feet, and frowned slightly. Then, I felt myself being taken over by a warm, strong hand. "Okay, you go ahead. I'll make sure she gets home safely." This was the first time I had been so close to Anderson. He had a cedarwood scent, which was very pleasant. I swayed slightly and leaned closer to him. "Anderson, you smell really good." Hearing this, Anderson didn't seem annoyed. He supported me as I swayed and said softly, "Tina, I didn't realize a little girl like you could drink so much." Actually, I was a little drunk, but not so drunk that I didn't know anything. Andy, my studies are not good, but my alcohol tolerance is not bad." Anderson chuckled softly, placed me in the passenger seat, and fastened my seatbelt. In the car, under the pretext of being drunk, I asked, "Anderson, what do you think of me?" "Very good." "Then do you think I'm suitable to be a girlfriend?" He was silent for a moment, then said, "Very suitable." "How about being your girlfriend?" He was silent for a moment. "Tina, you're drunk." "I'm not drunk." Anderson didn't speak anymore. I asked again, "Anderson, do you think I'm pretty?" Upon hearing my words, Anderson's ears noticeably flushed a shade of pink. He swallowed. "Pretty." "Then Anderson, are you sure you don't want to consider me?" "Look, I can be sweet or savory, pretty and kind, and most importantly, young. You choose me, you definitely won't lose out." Anderson covered his lips and chuckled twice. His voice was deep and sexy, almost making me lose control on the spot. He turned his face to look at me. "Tina, actually, I'm a very boring person. I'm older than you, and I was your teacher." I couldn't help but interrupt him. "Stop, Anderson. You don't have to use such rejection excuses." Anderson cleared his throat. "Tina, what I want to say is, if you don't mind, we can give it a try." I don't mind, I absolutely don't mind. I feel that if I hesitate for even a second, it's a disrespect to my years of unrequited love. Although I know that the reason he agreed to date me was mostly due to family pressure. Even so, my heart felt like it was filled with a big mouthful of honey, sweet and delightful. I'm just this kind of person, I don't turn back until I hit a wall. Besides, the man in front of me is the man I've liked for a whole 6 years. When I got home that night, I sent a message to my best friend. "I'm about to start dating, congratulate me quickly. My condolences to the man you've ensnared for 10 seconds. Hey. I'm not bad, right? Except for being a bit behind in my studies back in school. Yes, not bad." I was so excited I barely slept all night, and decided to go get advice from my best friend first thing in the morning. Strictly speaking, I'm still a novice in love. Except for my 7-year secret crush on Anderson, I've never dated anyone. During that time, my mom forced me to meet a few guys, but I didn't feel anything for them. I never thought I'd get a response from Anderson one day. Last night was just a drunken attempt to test the waters. Unexpectedly, he actually agreed. Even now, I feel like I'm dreaming. When I went downstairs to get my car, I found my pink smart car locked. I walked around the car, a little angry. Damn it, which idiot traffic warden did this? A slightly surprised voice sounded, "Tina, is this your car?" I looked up and saw a man in a police uniform. Wasn't it my high school best friend, Sean? "Sean, did you lock my car?" Sean looked at the car he had locked, a trace of discomfort on his face. After you pay the fine, I'll contact someone to unlock it for you." "Please, bro, I'm in a hurry." Sean scratched his head. "Your car was parked illegally, so." I gave him a thumbs up. "Alright, you really are a good traffic policeman of the people." Sean scratched his head. Hee, thank you for the compliment. "Where are you going?" "I'll give you a ride." In the end, I had to take Sean's police car to find my best friend. When my best friend saw me, there was a hint of surprise on her face. You hailed a cop car?" I pointed at Sean in the distance. "See, that big oaf over there, see him? My high school best friend, he locked my car." My best friend laughed until she was doubled over. After laughing, her eyes darted towards Sean. "Hey, your classmate is actually pretty good looking. Look at those muscles." Alarm bells went off in my head, and I quickly pulled her, who was lost in thought, upstairs. Upstairs at my best friend's place. I told her about my secret crush. Her jaw dropped. "Wow, Tina, you're something else, you actually managed to snag your high school homeroom teacher. From now on, you can make him pay back all the punishments and standing in the corner you endured back then. In the future, make him kneel on a washboard, kneel on a durian. Just thinking about it is so exciting. So, nothing happened between you two last night? I think he probably just agreed to date me because of family pressure, or maybe he didn't want me to feel so awkward. He seemed very calm. Besides, you don't know, Anderson is the very old-fashioned, very proper type. Hearing this, my best friend told me that I must create physical contact. There's no man who can't be seduced, only women who aren't sexy enough. As long as you have enough experience, even a monk wouldn't leave. Alright, truly, listening to your advice is better than reading 10 romance novels. However, the ideal is plump, but reality is skinny. These past few days, I've been meeting Anderson with different makeup looks and beautiful clothes every day. Turns out, I haven't even touched Anderson's hand. His usual date spots are either the library or the bookstore. Looking at Anderson across from me, completely engrossed in his book, I put down my romance novel and secretly took out my phone, preparing to play a round of King of Glory. The man opposite looked up, his deep voice sending a shiver down my spine. Bored? I hastily hid my phone behind my back. No, it's okay. After all these years, the fear of being caught playing on my phone by the homeroom teacher still lingers. Anderson's deep, dark eyes looked at me, as if he could see right through my thoughts. I gave myself a pep talk in my head. Tina, you graduated many years ago, what are you still afraid of him for? Besides, he's your boyfriend now. So, I nodded, yes, I'm a little bored. Anderson chuckled softly, you're my girlfriend. If you have any thoughts, you can tell me. You don't have to force yourself. My eyes widened, somewhat in disbelief. Anderson actually called me his girlfriend. Seeing my stunned and startled expression, the smile on his lips grew wider. Let's go, I'll take you to get something to eat. After that, we can go wherever you want to go. I nodded vigorously, and Anderson reached out and ruffled my hair. The place to eat was also my decision. Anderson was in charge of driving. After eating, I suggested going to a nearby arcade for a while. Anderson was silent for a moment. Actually, we don't have to go to the arcade, we can switch. I've never been to an arcade before. I'll have to trouble Tina to show me around. Anderson tilted his head to look at me, a soft smile on his face. Ah. I can't, he actually called me Tina. Oh my God, I'm going to die. At this moment, I felt like my heart was about to jump out of my chest, but I still forced myself to remain calm. I held up 4 fingers and smiled like a cat that had stolen a fish. I swear, I'll teach Anderson hand in hand, and make sure Anderson gets the hang of it quickly. Anderson nodded, but said, Tina, can you call me by my name in the future? Isn't calling me Anderson okay? He chuckled softly, it always feels a bit sinful. Pfft, alright. I smiled, then let's go, Anderson. Actually, always calling him teacher also made me feel a sense of transgression. Facts have proven that in front of a top student like Anderson, I am just a clown. Whether it's video games or studying. Leaving the arcade, I felt a little down. I had originally wanted to use the opportunity of teaching Anderson how to play arcade games to have more physical contact with him. Now it seems I was overthinking it. For every arcade game, as long as I demonstrated it once, Anderson could quickly get the hang of it, and even play better than me, who had been playing since childhood. Just as I was lost in thought, I suddenly felt my right hand being enveloped by a pair of warm, strong hands. I quickly looked at Anderson beside me. But he said calmly, we're boyfriend and girlfriend now. Holding hands should be okay, right, my girlfriend? If I hadn't seen the pink tips of his ears, would have thought he was very calm. I nodded quickly, okay, absolutely okay. He chuckled twice, his voice light and cheerful. Just as we reached the arcade entrance, a tall, elegantly dressed girl walked towards us. Seeing me and Anderson, the girl was visibly stunned. She smiled somewhat forcedly, Anderson, this is? As she spoke, Her eyes scanned me, and there was a hint of questioning in her eyes when she looked at Anderson. Anderson's ex-girlfriend. I had seen her once at the entrance of North Bay High. Anderson looked at the other person without a ripple in his eyes, only saying lightly, "Tina, my girlfriend." I saw a clear flash of dimness in the girl's eyes. "I remember you never liked these things." The girl forced a smile. "She likes it. This is my business card. If Tina wants to come play in the future, feel free to find me. I can give Tina a discount." As the girl spoke, she stuffed a business card into my coat pocket. Anderson's grip on my hand tightened, and then he led me away. I took out the business card from just now and looked at it. General Manager of Rich Gate Group, Olivia Liu. So she's a rich young lady. Anderson was silent, and I didn't speak either. After walking for a distance, I finally couldn't hold back and asked, "Anderson, why did you two break up back then?" Anderson was silent for a moment. "Her family wanted me to go abroad with her, but I didn't agree," he said calmly. I was stunned. "Is it because of your grandmother?" He paused, then nodded. "Yes, Grandma is my only relative in this world. I could never leave her. So that's how it is." My heart felt a little sour. If they hadn't broken up back then, and Anderson had gone abroad as he wished, I think he would be even more dazzling now. Anderson is a super academic achiever. I don't believe he never considered going abroad for further studies. "Do you regret it?" Anderson turned his head to look at me. "Regret what?" "Regretting breaking up with her, regretting not being able to go abroad with her." Anderson chuckled softly and ruffled my hair. "No regrets. We pursue different things. From the day we chose to break up, I never thought about regretting or not being able to let go." I mumbled under my breath, "But I'm still a little unhappy." Anderson leaned closer and asked, "What did you say?" I didn't hear clearly. I said loudly, I said I'm jealous, very unhappy. Anderson looked at my aggrieved face and sighed softly. "Tina, I don't know how to comfort girls. Can you tell me what I should do now to make you happy?" I looked at Anderson before me and said, "Anderson, can you hug me? If you hug me, I'll be happy." As soon as the words fell, a soft chuckle sounded by my ear, and then I fell into a warm embrace. I tried to look up and met Anderson's smiling eyes. I thought, Anderson looks really handsome when he smiles. "Anderson, you look really handsome when you smile. You should smile more in the future." "What did you say?" I didn't hear clearly again. I said loudly, "Anderson, I hope you will always be happy." He smiled and patted my head. Although my physical contact seduction plan had minimal results, at least I got to hold Anderson's hand, and he even hugged me. This is already a big step forward. I think, let's take it slow. Now it's holding hands and hugging, after a while it will be kissing, and then after a while it will be. Just the thought of Anderson being lured into my bed soon fills my heart with ecstatic joy. However, before my dream could come true, an unexpected person appeared. "Tina, you don't really think Anderson likes you, do you?" I was speechless, looking at the exquisitely dressed, arrogant woman in front of me. Miss Liu, a qualified ex should not entangle or appear, and not cause trouble for the other party. What kind of drama are you playing now? Olivia Liu casually flicked her hair and smiled provocatively. I was the one who initiated the breakup back then. I asked him to go abroad with me. He didn't agree because of his grandmother. I always knew he wanted to study abroad. If it weren't for his grandmother, I think we would have had our own baby by now. Although we've broken up now, it's only because his grandmother stands between us. Once his grandmother is gone, I think he will definitely come back to me. So, you're telling me now that there's still a possibility of you two getting back together? And my relationship with him is just temporary? Yes, as soon as his grandmother dies, we will get back together immediately. We were each other's first love. Our separation was only due to external forces, not because we stopped loving each other. I don't believe he can let go. I laughed angrily. No matter how much you loved each other back then, you still broke up. Regardless of the reason, since he chose to let go, and neither of you has died all these years, why hasn't he come back to you to reconcile? Olivia Liu glared at me hatefully. Humph. Don't be smug, Tina. You used to be his student, right? Tell me, if the school leaders find out you're with him, will it ruin his career? I ignored her. Also, Anderson and I broke up because of his grandmother. You and he won't escape that either. As long as his grandmother is alive, you two can never last. With that, she turned and left. Oh, I forgot to tell you, May 4th is the anniversary of when we started dating. Olivia Liu inexplicably dropped this sentence and left. I suddenly remembered that I used to secretly follow Anderson's Twitter. He never posted anything on his Twitter, except on May 4th, when he would post a picture of the sky. Ha! Sure enough, first love is a cinnabar mole on the heart, how can it be forgotten so easily? That day, I was accompanying Anderson in the library reading, when he answered a call and his face turned pale. What's wrong? What happened? I saw, for the first time, vulnerability and panic in Anderson's eyes. Hearing my words, he looked at me and forced a smile. Grandma's condition has worsened. I have to rush to the hospital and can't accompany you. I'm sorry. As he spoke, he stood up. I'll call a cab for you. You go back first, I'll contact you later. See, this is Anderson. Even when he's in pain himself, he'll always warm you first. I grabbed his hand. Anderson, don't push me away. I want to be with you. He looked at me, his deep eyes full of tenderness. Okay. When we arrived at the hospital, Anderson's grandmother had already been rushed into the emergency room. In the corridor, Anderson stared silently at the emergency room, his dark eyebrows showing no emotion. I tugged at his sleeve and boldly pressed his head onto my shoulder. Anderson, Grandma will be fine. Don't worry too much. Here, you can lean on my shoulder. I didn't know how to comfort him, I could only say some pale and powerless words. He sighed, and really did lean his head on my shoulder, forcing a smile. Yes, thank you, Tina. Anderson always seemed like a very warm person. After an unknown amount of time, the emergency room door finally opened. Anderson and I went up to meet them. The doctor said Anderson's grandmother had a sudden ventricular fibrillation, but after resuscitation, she had recovered. Hearing this, Anderson finally breathed a sigh of relief. I followed him into the hospital room. Lying on the bed was an old lady with white hair but a kind face. Seeing me, a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes. Andy, this is? Anderson winked at her, a smile playing on his lips. Girlfriend. I smiled and greeted her. Hello, Grandma. My name is Tina, I'm Anderson's girlfriend. Hearing this, a smile immediately appeared in her eyes. Tina? What a lovely name. Quick, come over here, let Grandma take a look. I obediently went over, and she took my hand. Oh my, look at this little face, so pretty. This boy Andy, when did he find a girlfriend? He's only telling me now. As she spoke, she looked at Anderson beside her with a slight reproach. Anderson just smiled. Grandma, don't blame him. We just got together not long ago. Grandma, the doctor said you need to rest more. Anderson gently reminded from the side. The old lady pouted. I know, you're like a little old man. I kind of wanted to laugh. Anderson beside me seemed used to it, only smiling at me helplessly. It's the first time I've met Tina, I like her very much and want to chat with her more. Oh, go get me some hot water, I'll use it later. Anderson had no choice but to take the thermos and go get water. In the hospital room, the old lady held my hand. Tina, this is the first time Andy has brought a girl back to see me. It seems he likes you very much. I was a little surprised. Wanting to get more information about Olivia Liu from the old lady, I asked, Grandma, didn't Anderson have a girlfriend before? He dated one in college. I heard they broke up a year after graduation. I asked him, and he just said their personalities didn't match. Sigh. This child. Even if he doesn't say it, I know. It must be that the girl knew about my existence as an old woman and wasn't happy, so she broke up with him. I'm old and have many ailments, plus this heart condition. Andy puts all his energy into me and neglects the young lady. It's my fault for holding him back. This child is pitiful. When he was 8, his parents died in a plane crash. Since then, he's been raised by me, an old woman. He's been well-behaved and sensible since he was little, and very thoughtful. Ever since his parents passed away, he's been so sensible it's heartbreaking. He doesn't say it, but I know he truly longs for a family, but he's also afraid and timid. As the old lady spoke, she wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. I was speechless for a moment. I never expected Anderson's experience to be so heartbreaking. I felt a little sad, and at this moment, I really wanted to hug that heartbreaking man. Tina, I'm very happy that you're with him. From now on, I'll entrust Andy to you. I hope you can make him a little happier. Grandma, don't worry. I will definitely take good care of Anderson and make him happy. When Anderson came back, he looked at us both, somewhat puzzled. Grandma smiled and waved her hand. All right, I like Tina so much, I kept her chatting for a while longer. Now I'm returning her to you. I need to rest. Grandma fell asleep. Anderson wanted to stay and take care of her, saying he would send me home first. In the underground parking garage, Anderson helped me open the car door. I turned around and hugged him. Anderson, believe me, I will definitely make you happy. Anderson was a little taken aback by my sudden action, but still gently hugged me back. I heard his deep, pleasant voice above my head, yes, I believe you. Grandma's condition gradually stabilized, and Anderson brought her home. I visit her every few days. Time flew by, and soon it was New Year. Ever since my mom found out about me and Anderson, she's been smiling from ear to ear all day long. Every time Anderson came to my house for dinner, she wanted to buy out the entire grocery store. I call my mom's behavior for getting her daughter once she has a son-in-law. My mom, after hearing this, smiled smugly. Look how good little Andy is. Graduated from a prestigious university, humble and polite, quick-witted and nimble-handed, and smart. When he plays chess with your dad, he always secretly lets your dad win. I was surprised. How did you know? My mom snorted coldly. With your dad's skill level, if little Andy wasn't letting him win, do you think he could win? On second thought, that's true. Anderson has always been a warm person. New Year arrived, and the two families gathered together, starting a round of mutual praise and flattery. Tina is not only beautiful and kind-hearted, but also well-behaved and sensible. I like her very much. It's Andy's blessing to be with her. Oh my, little Andy is the one. Graduated from a prestigious university, handsome and gentle, hardworking and sensible, and serious about his work. My Tina has been rebellious and carefree since she was little, causing me a lot of worry. It's our Tang family's blessing that Tina found little Andy. I looked a little awkwardly at Anderson across from me. He also seemed a bit overwhelmed by this enthusiastic atmosphere. Just then, my mom said, "You two young people go out and have some fun, we adults will chat." I peeled a candy and put it in my mouth, looking at Anderson across from me. It looks like there are fireworks outside, want to go see? Anderson nodded. Yes. Outside the courtyard, a group of children were happily setting off firecrackers. A mischievous little boy threw a firecracker at my feet. I was startled by the sudden noise, leaned back, and fell into Anderson's arms. He reached out to support my waist. As our eyes met, my reflection was mirrored in his dark pupils. He casually put his arm around me, looking suave and elegant. "Tina, do you have any New Year's wishes?" His voice was deep and sexy, a delight to the ears. Without thinking, I said, "Anderson, in the new year, I hope you can always be happy." I also hope Anderson can like me a little more, I added silently in my heart. Anderson was stunned, his eyebrows slightly raised, a hint of confusion in his eyes. "Tina, you make it sound like I'm always unhappy." "Not really, I just feel like you seem indifferent to everything, neither unhappy nor very happy." "Anderson, can you tell me about your parents?" Anderson was silent for a moment. "No, it's okay, if you don't want to talk about it." Just when I thought he wouldn't speak, Anderson suddenly began. My parents passed away when I was 8. Both my parents worked for the government. Once, they were sent together to another city for training, on the same flight. The plane crashed. I remember before they left, they promised me they would come back for my parent-teacher conference, but he never got to see his parents again. In an instant, heartache, self-blame, and pity enveloped me. I'm sorry, Anderson, I shouldn't have brought up your sad memories again. He ruffled my hair. Silly girl, it's not your fault. I've already come to terms with it. Is that so? Can one really come to terms with it? I can't imagine the feeling young Anderson had when he lost both his parents. My heart is just filled with sadness. I hugged him tightly. Anderson, I will always be by your side from now on. His arms around me tightened. Yes, thank you, Tina. I suddenly remembered that I had grabbed 2 of my favorite candies when I went out just now. I gently pushed him away and handed him the candy in my hand. Anderson, when I was little, whenever I was unhappy about something, my mom would give me a candy. After eating the candy, I would feel much happier. Try it. I specially brought 2 peach-flavored ones. They're particularly fragrant and sweet. Anderson's deep eyes just stared at me intently, without taking the candy from my hand. Just as I was stunned, the corners of his mouth curved into a beautiful arc, and he lowered his head to kiss my lips. A light kiss, yet it flustered me, a blush on my cheeks. After a while, he released my lips and said, peach-flavored, indeed very sweet. I felt like a cooked duck, my whole body about to catch fire. My heart was both sour and joyful, and my eyes reddened. Seeing this, Anderson quickly said, sorry, I was too abrupt. I reached out and hugged him tightly. No, not abrupt at all. I hope Anderson will be more abrupt with me in the future. Anderson burst out laughing, his voice clear and pleasant. I heard him sigh softly. Tina, thank you, I'm very happy. My relationship with Anderson has finally taken another step forward. For this, I was incredibly happy. I decided to implement my next plan. Take Anderson on a trip. I thought, during the trip, relaxed and with just the 2 of us, something more exciting would definitely happen. After all, I've been fantasizing about Anderson for so many years. However, before my plan could be implemented, something happened. That day, I was still in dream, when I received a call from a high school friend. Hey, Tina, have you seen the high school forum? I was a little confused. No, what's wrong? Oh my God, something big happened. Someone posted a lot of pictures of you and Anderson together on the school forum, and also wrote a post saying you and Anderson were already involved in high school. I heard from a teacher at the school that Anderson was originally supposed to be promoted to a senior title this year, but because of this incident, the school has already cancelled his spot. All sleepiness vanished. I opened the high school forum, and the homepage was filled with pictures of me and Anderson at the arcade last time. The comments section below was already densely packed with all sorts of comments. Some people cursed me for being shameless, for seducing my teacher in high school, but more people were criticizing Anderson. They said he had no professional ethics, was morally corrupt, and preyed on his own students. How could such a teacher be allowed to remain in the school to teach and educate? Some even directly demanded that the school leadership fire Anderson and kick him out of the school, saying that Anderson would corrupt their children. Such a teacher with no professional ethics, a perverted creep, was simply not fit to educate their children. Some people even dug up old photos of me and Sean, saying that Anderson was fighting with a high school student over a female student, which was simply a disgrace to the teaching profession. Looking at the accusations and curses directed at Anderson one by one, my heart ached with self-blame and sadness. I called Ben, the dean of students, explained what happened back then, and asked him to take me to see the current school leaders. I decided to clarify this matter in person and clear Anderson's name. Since this incident started because of me, I can't let him bear these accusations innocently. I brought a lawyer, found the school leaders, and explained the whole story clearly. Of course, I also incidentally confessed the secret crush I never dared to speak of. Hello, leaders. I am Tina from the original Class 9 of Senior 3. Regarding the matter on the school forum, I think it is necessary for me to come and state it personally today. For everything I say next, I will have my lawyer record it all. I guarantee that I will be responsible for every word I say, and every word will have legal effect. If I tell even half a lie, I am willing to bear all legal responsibilities. First, Anderson and I were indeed teacher and student, but that was a long time ago. Now, we are both unmarried. He is a teacher, and I am no longer a student at the school. Secondly, regarding my crush on Anderson in high school, it was purely a one-sided infatuation on my part. Anderson never knew I had a crush on him. He is an upright and good teacher with impeccable professional ethics and conduct. As all leaders know, Anderson graduated from a prestigious university. Whether it's professional knowledge or educating students, he is top-notch. He is upright and honest, and generously imparts knowledge to his students. He has never done any of the things mentioned online to me. In this matter, it has always been me silently admiring him. He never knew. As for what is said online, that Anderson and Sean fought over me, that is even more baseless. The person I've always liked is Anderson, and it has nothing to do with Sean. Moreover, Anderson and I have never been in contact since graduation. We only met again recently by chance. Ben can testify to this for me. Ben beside him quickly nodded. Yes, I can testify for both of them, because I happened to be there the day they met by chance. I continued. After meeting Anderson, I found that I could never forget him, so I pursued him vigorously. I was the one who kept pestering him. And that day at the arcade, I was also the one who dragged him there to accompany me. I think, strictly speaking, we are not in a teacher-student relationship anymore. I am pursuing the person I like, and it doesn't affect anyone. Unexpectedly, my one-sided wish still caused trouble and inconvenience for Anderson. Here, I want to say sorry to Anderson. In the future, please stop throwing mud at Anderson. He is a good teacher worthy of respect, and I also hope that the school leaders and parents will not bury an outstanding good teacher because of me. The secret hidden in my heart for so many years was revealed, and I felt somewhat relieved. At the same time, I felt a little sad. I thought, if Anderson knew I had a crush on him back then, he would definitely think I was too shameless, too brazen. And he and I probably wouldn't have any more interactions. After all, Anderson is such an upright and principled person. Thinking that we might never be together again, my heart ached as if a piece had been torn out, and the pain made me break out in a sweat. After leaving the school, I walked aimlessly along the road for a long time. My phone kept ringing, but I didn't want to answer it, nor did I want to look at it. Passing by a quiet bar, I dazedly turned in. I thought, at this moment, I desperately needed some alcohol to numb the pain. Unexpectedly, I ran into an acquaintance as soon as I walked in. Sean. The other protagonist of today's school news. I knocked on the table in front of him. Sean, what are you doing here? He looked up with dazed eyes, clearly having had a lot to drink. Tina, what are you doing here? Heartbroken. I said, sitting down across from him, and downed a glass of wine in one gulp. What? You're heartbroken too? What do you mean, I'm heartbroken too? Come, fellow sufferers of misfortune, let's take a picture together and post it on Moments to prove I'm not alone. As he spoke, he raised his phone and opened the camera. I was even more speechless. What? You're heartbroken too? When did you even fall in love? How come I didn't know? He downed the wine in his glass. Fell in love yesterday, heartbroken today. Who did you fall in love with? So quietly, and broke up so quickly. Your best friend. Huh? Ashley Lou? No, when did you two get together? Yesterday. I was utterly speechless. Then tell me, you got together yesterday, how did you break up today? Sean scratched his head and said with some regret, this morning I went to pick her up, and she asked me to bring her a grilled rice cake from downstairs. When I got to her building, I saw the vendor selling grilled rice cakes was operating illegally on the sidewalk, so I persuaded him to leave. Later I found out that vendor was actually her father. You really are something else, big brother. Tina, Sister Tang, please help me. Helpless, I could only send a message to my best friend. The reply I got was, tell him to get as far away as possible. I spread my hands towards Sean, I can't help you either. Hearing this, Sean could only drown his sorrows in one glass of wine after another. Looking at Sean like this, I actually forgot my own pain for a moment. Until a deep voice, laced with a hint of anger, sounded. Tina, why aren't you answering my calls? I looked up and saw Anderson looking at me with a grim expression. A gloominess I had never seen before. I dazedly got up. Anderson, why are you here? If I didn't come soon, my girlfriend would be pairing up with someone else. He said this with little expression on his face. I muttered under my breath, who's pairing up with that big oaf? Just then, Sean beside me stood up shakily. Andy, I'm heartbroken. Tina is also heartbroken. I was just saying, we two are really, really fated. Anderson frowned slightly, his face unusually cold. Who's fated with you? Tina isn't heartbroken, only you are. Her boyfriend is here to pick her up. With that, he supported the swaying me and turned to leave, leaving that big oaf Sean stunned in place. I was dizzy inside, but now outside, with the wind blowing, I instantly sobered up a lot. Anderson, you just said I'm your girlfriend. You didn't abandon me? Anderson looked at the girl with, the anger in his heart had long since dissipated, leaving only a full measure of heartache and helplessness. He helped the girl stand straight and looked into her eyes. Tina, you are my girlfriend, now and in the future. I have never said I don't want you. On the contrary, you unilaterally announced our breakup without my consent. Who gave you the audacity? In an instant, my nose stung terribly, and all my fears and worries surged into my heart. Anderson, I've caused you a lot of trouble. I do like you, I've liked you since high school, very, very much. But, I'm afraid my liking you will bring you infamy. So, I hid my feelings deep in my heart. On one hand, I'm afraid you don't like me, that you loathe me. On the other hand, I'm afraid you'll really forget me. So, I did everything I could to get your attention. I deliberately went against you, just so you would remember me. Am I very bad, very annoying? Tina, listen carefully. I don't dislike you, I never have. You like me, I didn't know, and I made you suffer so much alone. It's my fault. From now on, you can like me openly. I also feel your affection. Since liking me makes you so tired, how about I like you from now on, okay? My tears just flowed silently. Until a wet, warm kiss landed on the corner of my eye. Tina, don't cry. It's my fault for making you wait so long. When you cry, I don't know what to do. He gently licked my eyebrows and eyes, as if comforting or perhaps apologizing. I thought, the flower I've been tending has finally bloomed, and my waiting has finally come to fruition. Later, I found out that Olivia Liu had uploaded those photos. She asked Anderson to get back together, but he refused. Out of revenge, she did those things. I also found out why Anderson posts a picture of the sky every year on May 4th, because it's the anniversary of his parents' death. I didn't ask how the school handled those things. Anderson told me not to worry, he would take care of it. Afterwards, Anderson resigned from his job at the school. During his years at the school, he pursued a master's degree, and now, he wants to continue his doctoral studies. Of course, I fully support him. A year later, Anderson proposed to me, and I officially became his wife. And I also successfully lured Anderson into my bed. After marriage, I asked him if he wanted a baby, but he said I was still young and should do what I wanted to do. I wrapped my arms around him and whispered, Anderson, what I've always wanted to do is fall in love with you, marry you, and have babies with you. Hearing this, Anderson's handsome eyes immediately darkened, and then he pounced on me. The Anderson I once thought was gentle and proper was not gentle at all in bed. After a round of heart-pounding intimacy, I clutched my aching waist. Anderson, you stand by the bed and recite sonnet for me. If you don't finish reciting it tonight, don't even think about getting into bed. Unexpectedly, the man actually recited it word for word without missing a beat. Immediately after, I fell into a scorching embrace. Tina, tonight we're having a special lesson. What? Human anatomy. I will definitely teach well. Tina, you must study hard, okay? My old face flushed red. Why on earth did I ever think this man was proper back then?